Oh, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Woohoo! Oh, I needed that one. What a win. What a fucking win that was. Oh, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding stuff from the Knicks, who take a game in Denver for the first time since November 8th, 2006. Before I get to this game, I'm just going to read the players that were on that team. Jamal Crawford, Quentin Richardson, Stephon Marbury, Channing Frye, Eddie Curry, Malik Rose, Nate Robinson, David Lee, Ronaldo Bachman, Kelvin Cato. How about Kelvin Cato? Marty Collins, and not getting off the bench that night, did not dress Stevie Francis. Oh, boy. They beat a team with Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith, Marcus Camby, all future Knicks. Marcus Camby, a former Knick, of course, at that point. Oh, wow. That was a win. That was a win, and I want to say a couple things right off the bat. One, I was sitting here on my couch for like up until the whatever the hell the run is they went on to end the game, saying to myself, man, I'm just going to get up there. I'm just going to talk about what a shame this game was to lose. And that was the word I was going to use, because it would have been a shame to lose this game. The way they came out, how well they played, how hard they played, how well certain players were playing. It just would have been a shame to lose. But they didn't lose it. So I don't have to say that. That's number one. Number two, you could tell me no Jokic. That's fine. I get it. Second night, back-to-back in Utah, in Denver. I think Breen said it on the top of the broadcast. Toughest back-to-back in the league. Toughest back-to-back in sports when you consider the nature of the NBA and the nature of the game, running up and down the court, coming from Utah to Denver the next night. And obviously that's still a good Nuggets team. I was watching this Nuggets team tonight, and I'm like, how do they lose games when Jokic plays? I don't even know, but that's why they're a championship contender. They're still a good team, and Najee was really good tonight, and my God, Bones Highland. So, that's number two. Number three, all of the praise in the world is not enough for how Julius Randle played tonight. There are other guys who played really, really, really big roles in this win. Some outstanding, I don't know how many times I tweeted out the word outstanding tonight. I think 3 or 4 times. Outstanding defensive possessions at the end by Jericho Sims, not biting on that fake from Murray, and then Emmanuel Quickley, just playing blanket coverage defense. And I love how, look, Bones Highland, 6th man of the year, maybe front runner right now, certainly candidate, legit candidate, incredible young player, shot maker, going to be in the running for 6th man of the year awards probably for the rest of his career. He'll be a big part of winning teams. I get all that. Emmanuel Quickley, a little lost in the sauce right now on offense, although he had some nice moments tonight. Quickley, defensively, game changer. And he was a game changer, literally a game changer on that last possession. Sims too. Cam, great defense all night. Lots of good contributions. I mean, there's only one guy who played poorly, and we'll unfortunately get to him in a bit, as well as why he was out there, although he wasn't out there at the end. Say that. But this is about Julius Randle. It's all about Julius Randle. I think, has there been a bigger Julius Randle critic than me over the last year? And it's funny because it was Andrew, maybe you can look it up. What was the Bulls game last year where it was early in the season where Randle had a really nice game, had some not great moments down the stretch, and I got on the post game and I was like, really great Julius Randle game, it's tough that he didn't pull it out in the end. And people were already starting to get on him, and I got really feisty with folks because I'm like, come on, he played a great game. He didn't have a great close to the game. And then within a couple weeks after that, I started to kind of get on board that train of like, man, this is not the same dude. And how much longer are we going to keep giving him the benefit of the doubt for what he did last year? And then it turned into what it turned into, which was just an unpleasant mess where it was just a lot of bad stuff, a lot of bad juju. No pun intended. Some pun intended. And then to start, over the summer, I planted my flag on trade Julius Randle Island. Get him out of here. Any by any means necessary. Attach it first. Whatever you got to do. Fell on deaf ears. Came out. Preseason looked okay, and then the year started. And after a couple of nice games, it's like, back to the same old shit. And my goodness, when the news came out that he was the one that had called the players only dinner to preach accountability, I was like, he thinks we're all idiots. He must think we're all idiots because, he's the one that if you go back, and as Thibodeau likes to say, I watched the tape. Well, we all watched the tape too, Tom. We saw it, right? We saw it. It was glaring. And then last night, okay performance against Utah. Okay performance. I thought there were some not great defensive moments, but okay performance. And then tonight, to come out, and actually, let me rephrase that. He didn't come out that great because I know he was hitting shots in the first quarter. I thought defensively, and this is what bugs you about Julius, is he comes out and it's like he eases into every game defensively. He doesn't fly out of the gate defensively like we know he can. And oh, by the way, how do I know he doesn't fly out of the gate defensively like I know he can? Watch the tape of the fourth quarter of this game and then watch the tape of the first quarter of this game and then tell me those are the same two guys because you can't do it. You cannot convince me that person did not undergo a body transfusion. Shout out to Big Picture Podcast this week mentioning Face Off in their 97 movie draft. It was literally like a face off, switch bodies with somebody else. That's how different the effort is. And we know that that's in there for Julius Randle. We know that that's in there because we didn't imagine his season 2 years ago when the man got an all defense vote. Can't make it up. That's in there. And it came out tonight. And it came out, and offensively, he had it flowing. And, is he a guy that needs his offense to go well for him to maybe give that level of effort on defense? Maybe. I don't know. I just know that the dude that we saw really the whole game offensively, but in the fourth quarter of that game, that's the guy that made All-NBA second team, That's the all-star. That's an NBA all-star. That dude is the best player on the floor tonight and would have been the best player on the floor, if the Knicks had played a lot of other teams too, teams with their stars. That's how good Julius Randle was tonight. He was that good. I'm underselling it. How good I take notes every game. The last 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 5 things are just Julius in all caps with what the score was after he did whatever he did. Getting on the floor. Seeing Julius Randle get on the floor, and then of course at the same time, it's like I said a minute ago, it kind of, there's a part of you that it drives you a little nuts because it's like this and no one's expecting him to dive on the floor for 48 minutes of every game, but maybe a happy medium. Could we get a happy medium between what we saw at the end of this game? Needless to say, they don't win the game without him. That's understatement of the year. Just incredible. Just absolutely incredible. Last thing I want to say on him, and then I don't even know that I want. I have. There are people who may have not have watched the game because it was a late game, so I will have to talk about the RJ thing before I get to the super chat comments. Last thing I'll say on Julius is, again, we don't need you to play brilliant offense every night. We don't need you to hit crazy shots every night. If there are nights when you go out there and you have 12 or 14 or 16 points or less or whatever, it's fine. It's fine. The way he's playing on offense all year, really for the most part, give or take the turnovers you hate, and really it's just, honestly, it's just turnovers because the shot selection's been mostly fine. Fires it up a little bit too much from 3, but hey, you hit 3-7 tonight. So, maybe the percentages keep ticking back up. But offensively, that's not the issue. Take a little bit better care of the ball, a couple better, quicker decisions. Defensively, just give 85% of the effort he gave in the fourth quarter. Moving forward, it's all anybody wants, man. It's all anybody wants. It's all I want. It's all anybody wants. Just a great performance from him. I'll end before we get to the super chats with the RJ thing. Look, we have no way of knowing how sick RJ Barrett is or is not. And choose my words carefully. I will lean. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to choose any words. I'm going to say Mike Breen's words, because Mike Breen, I think a couple times on the broadcast tonight, said, you love the grittiness, you love that he wants to play, you love that he wants to be out there to help his teammates, you love all that, but there was a point in time where you are hurting your team. And what I said at the beginning, which is that I was going to come on here and talk about what a shame this loss would have been. The reason it would have been a shame is because the Knicks should have gone into halftime up 15 if it weren't for RJ playing all those minutes in the first half. Second half, not as egregious. Still, quite a few misses. I don't even know what I'll get his final stat line here, but and defensively, it was arguably just as bad defensively. Maybe not as bad because it was that bad offensively, but he was not a playable NBA player by any stretch of the imagination tonight. Again, I'm not killing him if he's really sick. Although I don't believe his vision is impaired. And at some point, these shots that he takes where he ignores other people, like the Quickly thing at the end of the first quarter, where he, Quickly was literally jumping up and down like a crazy person, wide open in the corner, and RJ went 1-on-3. Kind of rough there. He's now, I think, 0 for his last 16 from deep, 4 of 18 tonight. Yeah, and that would have been on Tibbs. And here's where we'll end, and then we'll get to the Super Chats. I've called Julius Randle the most infuriating player in the league. Tom Thibodeau, I said it last night, most infuriating coach in the league. Not even close. Last night, it was pulling Obi, in the fourth quarter. Tonight, you're watching this team, and, again, I'm Mr. Tom Thibodeau. All I want to do is get on here and be like, y'all were ready to fire this guy? Look at how the team played for him. Look at how the scheme was executed tonight when they were a little bit, again, if you give that little extra effort and you're just really paying extra attention, yeah, you're still going to give up the occasional open three. Yeah, you're still going to give up the occasional open dunk, but it works. It works. It's proven to work. I still believe it works, even if it might not be the very best scheme in the NBA today. I think it works. I think it could work for this team. I think it will work for this team. And offensively, you saw a team that I think, for my 2 cents, I think the Knicks executed on offense about as well as you can execute with their personnel. I mean, they even kind of sort of navigated the zone defense tonight that Denver threw at them. Not as well as you'd like them to, but well enough. A lot better than we've seen in the past. All those things, credit to Tibbs. Can't argue against it. The development of the young guys, Quickly, Obi, Cam, credit to Tibbs. And yet, he goes out there and he plays RJ Barrett. How many total minutes? 31 minutes in this game? Come on, man. What do you got Quentin Grimes on the bench for? That's why he's there. Situational. This is the situation where your player is sick. Get Grimes in there, But he didn't. Luckily, it didn't cost them. That's it. That's all I want to say. Sorry for the longer than usual preamble, but man, I'm 8-7, baby. How about that? All right. Before we get to the Super Chats, here we go. Our friends at WynnBet. Download the WynnBet app or visit www.wynnbet.com. That is WYNNBET.com to start winning. Sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet $100, win $100. Download, bet, win. I saw the line tonight was Denver by 3.5. So I guess I don't know what the money line was, Andrew. Maybe you could let me know what you would have won.
Can I actually educate you on what happened to the Knicks to the money line for today's game?
Please
John?
do. Yeah.
So
it was not 3.5.
Oh no, it dropped a lot. So we'll start with the money line. So last night when we got done streaming, and I started editing, I was hyped. Knicks just won. Loved that game, and it was plus 188 for the Knicks.
Oh,
and I was like,
nice.
you know what? I'm hammering this. I wake up today around 9 o'clock. I'm still pretty hyped. You know what? Putting them in an underdog parlay. It's down to plus 168. We get to game time when I'm looking at my options for betting and sweating on the pregame show.
Yeah.
And it's plus 110.
Oh, wow. So they were
almost even money. And right before game time, XJ and I were going back and forth with this. It was plus 105. So the line for the game actually ended up being, it was +4 when I went to bed last night, and it was +1.5 before the game.
Interesting.
So Vegas also had some confidence in the Knicks,
Good
at
for
least the betting patterns, at least.
Well, I
like
hope everybody had the same confidence as you and went to WynnBet.com and won some cash.
Download, bet, win, baby.
Download, bet, win, like Andrew Claudio did. All right, let's get to the super chats. I can't wait to see where these are going to go. I would imagine it's going to be a lot of positivity tonight. Robert Cross, the Julius Randle. That's it. That's the tweet. Hashtag 53 wins. I do just want to point out. Thank you, Robert. That's big of you. Maybe you're the biggest Julius Randle critic. Robert with another one. First time, long time, John. Is it fair and reasonable to say the Knicks will be back on track for 53 wins if they sweep this trip? Hashtag 53 wins. Listen, Warriors have had their struggles this year, but at home, they've been really good. Not expecting a win in Golden State. All due respect to how they played tonight. Phoenix, I don't know if Paul's still going to be out, whatever. They've come back down to earth a little bit, but they still are really, really good. And then OKC for maybe a little payback game, although with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looking like a top 10 NBA player, and OKC playing well, like that's no bargain. Like if they get one more win on this trip, my God, what a wonderful, that would be great. It would obviously, you've started out 2-0. You don't want to talk about going 0-3 the rest of the way, but I think that, like, even with the Jokic thing, even though, Utah maybe coming back down to earth, to get 2 wins on this trip is just a really nice job by then. If they could get one more win on this trip and go back home 500, big if, massive, absolutely massive, and a credit to their stability. We have more work to do, but credit to their stability. Anthony Sixto, what's going on, Anthony? Thank you for the contribution. As the founder and perhaps lone surviving member of the hashtag Ride with Randall gang, tonight is a night to put respect on his name. 1,000%. Good for you. I was bracing for a nightmare a couple of weeks, but so far this has been fun. Yeah, man. When is it ever simple? It's never easy. When is it ever simple? But the number that I wanted to throw out, because I really do think it's notable, the Knicks tonight shot 8 of 34 from 3. They shot 23.5% from 3 tonight. They were good from 2, terrible from 3. They were 29th in 3-point shooting. I think they've moved up to 28th before. They had moved up to 28th before this game. I'm sure with this game they're going to move back down to 29th. I mean, they're in the Lakers territory as far as 3-point shooting. I have to think the 3-point shooting is going to turn around. I have to think the 3-point shooting is turning around. And for them to be above 500 and be one of the 2 worst 3-point shooting teams in the league, I know I've killed them despite their record because we couch the wins, who the wins came against and how they looked and how they fared against better teams. That's impressive because the 3-point shooting will rebound and guys will start hitting shots. So I just wanted to point that out. Busy tonight is the absolute best time to hashtag trade 30. That's the other side of the coin, right? Man, it takes you back to 2 years ago. Where I have repeatedly said over the last year and change, like, that was the time to trade him. Should have traded him then. Look, I wish I could say I trust this front office to make the right decision. I would hope they're just. All I hope is keep the phone lines open. Keep the phone lines open. That's it. See what you get. Bulldog Boxing Promotions. What's going on? Randall hitting the hardwood on that steal gave me chills. That's the thing, is it gives all of us chills. The thought of trading a guy who just did that for your team, he's clearly feeling the heat and cares. Happy for him. I think he is feeling the heat. And I really do have a theory, and I think I said it last night, and I'll say it again. I wonder if this team, realize like it's on us, guys. Like, we're not getting the coach fired. Like, we got to figure it out. We got to play better. And he did it. That's what he did. We'll see. Rob DeLusma, can't front fam. Julius did his thing. Absolutely fucking lutely. Julius did his thing. Thank you, Rob. Andrew, they have life. Look like a team again. Hey, Wally. I thought Wally was okay tonight. I'm gonna put that out there. I thought Wally was okay tonight. I thought he did an okay job. Nice to have Breen next to him. Sam Garcia, what's going on, Sam? The losing streak is over. What a great team win. Tibbs coached a great game. Again, minus the RJ thing. And shout out to Julius for balling out tonight. 100%. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you look up, New York tied for 7th in the standings with Washington. Game under 500. They're in a virtual tie with 6th place Indiana. My goodness, Indiana with a nice win tonight. But like, you look at the standings now and you look at the teams that are falling and the teams that you figure will fall eventually, like, I don't know, still got a little bit of a ways to go, but they've weathered the storm a little bit. They've weathered the storm. Thanks, Sam, for that comment contribution. Jessica, what's going on, Jessica? Our wonderful moderator over at our Discord for KFS patrons. Wow, first Knicks win in Denver since 2006. I was on the edge of my seat the entire fourth. Yeah, I had a couple claps that I was hoping did not wake anybody in the household. I don't think I did. The energy and effort and focus was the best it's been all season. Fun game. Let's go Knicks. I don't even think this was like, what game is in contention for a more well-played game from them than this? I don't feel like, other than RJ, I don't feel like anybody played poorly. Maybe not the best Obi game offensively, but I thought it was meaningful that Tibbs left him out there. We should say we got more Randall and Obi minutes. Andrew, check the counter. I think did we get over 50 minutes with this tonight? I don't know. But Obi defensively, I thought defensively it was meaningful that Tibbs left him out there and trusted him out there defensively when the Knicks were trying to make a comeback. And I thought his presence on the offensive end helped juice the offense, even if, he was not hitting shots. So, yeah, very fun game. 2006. Since 2006. I was 20. Was I 23 when they last won in Denver? 23. I was probably vomiting in the corner of a bar somewhere.
I had just graduated high school.
So you were probably not vomiting in the corner of a bar.
No, but there are many other reasons why I was not vomiting in the corner of a bar. The Randall counter, the Randall Obi counter is at 51 minutes.
Oh,
start looking at the drink menu, John. That's
you are coming. You are coming to Brooklyn. We are going to Clover Club, and you are going to get me. I'm sure there are a couple people on here who know what I'm talking about with Clover Club. You are going to get me one of those fancy ass $18 cocktails. That is what is going to happen.
There's no way that we just go to the Penn 6 and do this. I have to go all the way to Brooklyn.
No, shout out to Penn 6. Our friends at Penn 6 host all of our events. No. Go to Clover Club on Court Street because they have the fancy cocktails. This would be a fancy cocktail celebration.
Winner decides.
If they play over 100 minutes.
Winner decides. So your call, sir.
Yeah.
The next comment. I think the next comment is the other way from the way we've all been feeling tonight. Shout out Hush Zoo.
Hush Zoo. Oh my goodness. All right, here goes. RJ sucks. I don't care if he wasn't feeling well. He felt good enough to almost shoot us out of this game. Randall's stock ticking up game by game. #trade30. The trade 30 thing. I'll at this point, if you're like just being a fair and reasonable individual, if you're not at least thinking of the idea of like, I wonder what we could get for him now. That's, I think that is fair and reasonable. Is the RJ sucks take reasonable? No, it's not reasonable because RJ doesn't suck. He doesn't suck. He's a player who I really don't want to say anything about tonight because he was not feeling well. It's annoying that we continue to have these moments. And, there's unfortunately, there's more than a few of them. And it has not been a good year for RJ. He doesn't suck. He'll be okay. Just, It's all about measuring and tempering expectations. That's all. Okay. Tried to do that as gracefully as I could. Jeremy Blaustein. What's going on, Jeremy? Get out the crow. Hold on. I got him right here. Julius Effin Randle. Can we make the crow a Julius Crow tonight? Hold on. There he is. Our friend. Hello. So he's not going to be crowing tonight. He's going to be, I don't know what, something else other than crowing. Here, we'll pop him up on the bottom of the thing. There he is. Saying hi. Okay, next up. Dom Cappuccini. What's going on, Dom? John. Who is this team, man? A team who doesn't want to lose their coach or just pumped tired of losing. I'll take it. I don't look. Do I think they have any great love affair with Tom Thibodeau? No, I don't think they. I don't know if anybody who's ever played for Tom loves Tom. I think Derrick Rose loves Tom. Let me rephrase that. I think Derrick Rose genuinely loves Tom. I don't know that there's a ton of other players that love Tom. I do think that there is a belief around the NBA and guys who have played for Tom, maybe not all of them, but a decent amount of them, that he's a pain in the ass, but he's a guy who knows how to win. And, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I wish I knew, but it's nice to see them play well. It was just really great. Next up, Ryan Huang, Macri. Can you check out the simulation we're living in? I think it's gone haywire. I just saw Julius playing defense, question mark, down the stretch. Hashtag JB is him. Just an unreal, like the effort, like this. I think the first steal, I forget who even stole the ball from. It doesn't even matter. But like, just like getting in there and like, and like he's played good on ball defense at times in his career. It's more the off ball stuff that drives you nuts. But still, for him to be that kind of a presence in that moment, I mean, dude had 34 points on 21 shots tonight, and he was only 3 of 10 from 3. He missed his last. I misspoke before. I thought he was 3 of 7 from 3. He's 3 of 10 from 3. That's my bad. So yeah, from 2-point range, he was 8 of 11. Just big time stuff. And obviously a bunch of offensive rebounds that were very important. Thanks, Ryan, for that. Appreciate it. Andrew Palladino, what a game. We back. I like that hashtag for this season. We back. IQ defense is real and makes up for his inconsistent shooting. 100%. You need your backup bench guard in that role that IQ is in to have the confidence to fire away. And he does not have the confidence in his shot right now. And to watch a guy like Bones just fire it up and like look for every opportunity to fire it up, it's like there were moments where like that was IQ. That's not IQ right now. I don't want to do this to RJ, but like IQ's offense hasn't been great all year. I mean, he's picked it up recently. He had the great game against OKC. He had a big, obviously very important game-turning stretch in the end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter against Utah. Still has not shot it well all year. His defense has never wavered. Never wavered. He is, along with Cam Reddish, he has been the most impactful Knicks defender on the year. Well, I guess Mitch. We should probably mention Mitch, too. Incredible stuff by him. Just a winning player. He's going to win wherever he goes. I am hopeful it's here. I'm hopeful he stays here. Gregorio Vincent, what's going on, Gregorio? How is this real life? This is the way I stand. This is why I stand by the Knicks through thick and thin. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to watch this team when they do this stuff. And it is because they make us crazy. Yeah, I think I said it last night. I'll say it again. This is where you are fine rooting for a team that is mid, is totally mid, never going to be anything other than mid. Not coming out of this win being like, hey, let's 46 wins. Let's go. No, still have the same issues. But if you're a mid team and you give performances like this every now and then, and you don't give performances like we saw in the second half against Atlanta and against OKC, and you just like leave those sorts of things as opposed to like 4 times in a week, it's more like once a month or once every 3 weeks, something like that, then it's fine. Then you love to root for that mid team because it's like, who knows what happens? Who knows who requests the next trade or, all sorts of things. This possibly feels a lot brighter. The days feel a lot brighter. That's all. The name of the Julius Crow, according to Andrew Claudio, Crowdactid. Wow, that's good. Mr. Crowdactid. I like it. Matt Smith, awesome and fun win. At what point does RJ's role need to be adjusted? His play is yet to warrant being featured in the offense, and guys like Cam could really benefit from more touches. Yeah, I mean, I have an RJ take that I'm gonna save for. I'm gonna hold on to, but I think we're not at that point yet. The organization just invested $100 million in this player. Now, the two other organizations invested $100 million in immediately after this organization, begrudgingly, I might add, re-signed RJ Barrett. One came off the bench last year in Tyler Hero, and the other continues to come off the bench in Golden State. So the notion that you cannot have a very important part of your team, 25, 30-minute-a-game guy coming off the bench, not crazy. The rest of the comment, guys like Cam could really benefit from more touches. Like Cam, the way he's attacking closeouts right now, and he missed the 3 very badly tonight, but he shot it well tonight. The way he's playing defensively, like that dude's a starting wing. And if you want to tell me that there's a world where this team, I mean, like, look at the 5 that closed the game. Obi and Julius, Brunson, Quickly, and Cam. I don't think there's a person that's watched the Knicks this year. Forget this game for RJ. I don't think there's a person that watched the Knicks this year that wouldn't agree that is at the very least their highest ceiling 5-man lineup. And if you want to take Obi out for, I can't put Mitch in there because he makes the offense tougher. But you want to put Sims in there, you want to put Hardenstein in there. I like Obi there. I thought Obi did a great job there. It was a matchup specific thing. But like Cam, Quickly, Brunson, like those are your 3 best wings this year. Those are your 3 most effective, impactful, consistent 2-way wings. I know Brunson's not a wing, but you get the drift. I don't know. Thanks, Matt. Drew P. He's been missing, but that was all NBA Julius. Damn Skippy it was. Damn Skippy. Crowdactid. That's per the chat. I like it. Yeah. I mean, keep playing like this, Julius, please. You might make another all NBA team. Robert Cross with another one. First time, long time, John. IQ is a damn good ball player. He's developing into something. He is developing into. He's already something. Hashtag 53 wins. I believe in the offense. I still believe in the offense. Let's say this. For as much as Ian has had the recent reports about, teams are calling about Quickly, not so subtly implying that the Knicks are maybe going to be open to including him in a deal down the line. Things change. A month ago, if you would have told me that Cam Reddish has now made himself borderline untradeable and a guy untradeable in a good way, and a guy that like the Knicks are going to seriously consider giving, that number's going up every day. A lot of money too. Let's just say that this offseason. Like things change. Are all of Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, and RJ Barrett? I say those 4 specifically because Grimes isn't due for a new contract yet. And like Mitch already has his new contract, but he plays center. Are all 4 of those guys going to be on this team next year? I believe that they will not. I believe that one of them will not be here at least. But who knows who that guy will be? We'll see. Thanks, Robert. Roger Fortune. This is the Julius I miss rooting for. Concerned about RJ. I hope it's just a case of being sick, but I'm focused on these back-to-back effort wins. Huge effort. I mean, the effort that it took. I mean, really, we cannot say it enough. The effort that it took. It's not even that they beat Denver. It's not like they were up by 15 and hung on to win in the end when they ran out of gas. Oh my God, they're interviewing RJ in the. Oh no, that was a commercial. I thought they were actually going to interview RJ after this game and televise it. To come back second night of a back-to-back in Denver. My goodness gracious. Awesome stuff. But yeah, Roger, we're all a little concerned about RJ right now. Sean Ford, what's going on, Sean? Thanks for the contribution. Great win. I love Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle down the stretch. RJ's performance, one of the most selfish individual Knicks games I have ever seen. Whew. We shoulda ... Well, you know. That trade wasn't just about RJ. If it was just about RJ would be in Utah right now. Nobody's questioning that. Nobody's doubting that. Nothing about that. If it was just about RJ, Donovan Mitchell would be a Knick. RJ Barrett would be in Utah. Could say that. Thanks, Sean. ARA Rawad, what's going on, ARA? And shout out to everybody watching right now. It is 1:00 in the morning on the East Coast, but we have the best fans in the world, both the Knicks and KFS. So thank you guys. Your boy from Dubai here. I don't know what time is it in Dubai. Do you think that Cam is being too shy and that he needs to step up and get the number of shots he deserves to take? That's a fantastic question. I think so. Cam tonight took 5 shots in 37 minutes. He was plus 13. He was the best plus minus on the team. My God, RJ minus 18 in 31 minutes. My Lord. Cam. Do I think Cam should be taking more shots? Yes. Do I think that is feasible? Let me actually one more thing. Do I think it's okay that Cam is only taking a handful of shots a game and concentrating so much on defense on the other end? That's not the worst thing in the world. Do I believe he could still give that sort of defensive performance and put up more shots? Absolutely. Is that going to happen unless something else in the starting lineup changes? And I'm not talking about the center. Center does not matter. No, that's not going to happen. Like if RJ Barrett's in, like Julius is going to take his shots. Like and tonight's like nights like tonight show you why. Jalen Brunson's going to take shots as he should. He's fucking awesome. I was looking it up before. Jalen Brunson is hitting I think 56% from 2-point range this season. It's the 6th best 2-point shooting field goal percentage in the league amongst point guards. Only trailing a bunch of all-stars. I know he's not hitting his threes right now, but like, you know, dude's at whatever he's at 90+% from the line. He's awesome. So like Brunson's going to take his shots. Randall's going to take his shots. If RJ's in the starting 5 and like, man, how long would this level of play from RJ, not tonight's level of play, but like just the level of play he's shown this year where he hasn't been good. How long would that have to go on? Like Tom has already tipped his hand. He likes RJ with the second unit. He said as much. He plays him with the second unit. So it's not like, you know, there isn't a tacit acknowledgement that RJ is probably better not on the court at the same time as Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. So that's why this notion, and like I don't really want, I think it's a little bit too early to start to like make RJ a 6-man movement, but from just a purely theoretical perspective, like, yeah, fuck yeah, it makes sense. Especially if the guy stepping into that role is Quentin Grimes. Go out there, defend his ass off, and make shots. You know, it leaves you a little small, but I don't know. Good comment. Hayden Freed. Randall's a monster. Give me that every night. Go look at Mikal Bridges' stat line tonight in a dominant win for the Suns. I still believe in Star J. Oh, goodness. No, can't do that tonight. No. RJ's best defensive game in his life. I don't know what it is, but I don't know that it would compare to the average, actually slightly subpar, like RJ's been bad defensively this year. This might be a little worse than bad. Was he better in the past defensively? Yeah, probably 2 years ago he was. Like what McCall does defensively is just, it's game changing. And then, I don't know what Mikal Bridges did as far as his stat line tonight. I quite frankly really don't care. He's the most efficient, or one of the most efficient wing players in the entire league. Like, the dude is just a metronome in the best way possible. So I'm happy you still believe in Star J, but I'm just like, these are the comments that do get me to get my blood boiling a little bit, because this fallacy that has been propagated for years now, that this is a star player because he went to Duke and he talks a good game in front of a microphone and he was the 3rd overall pick and he puts up a bunch of garbage counting stats because he takes a bunch of shots. I mean, like, let's just call a spade a spade. The guy who's played the first 15 games this year, that dude wouldn't see minutes on like a conference finals team or like a conference semifinals team. He wouldn't get on the floor. Why would he be on the floor? Why would he get any time? Anytime. So to sit here and say RJ Barrett's gonna be fine, he's still a good player, don't worry about him. I'm the one saying that. I agree with that. To still have this Star J nonsense, where we're in, again, just 22, but year 4. And if we're being honest about his performance through 15 games, and we look at it and say, like, yeah, there's probably about 10 teams that if they were in a playoff series would not have played this version of this player any minutes. 0. That's a big leap to go from that to whatever the hell Star J is. That's my pushback. Juanon, what's going on, Juanon? Best win since 2020? Question mark. I don't know. The season opener last year was pretty exciting. Season opener last year was pretty exciting. But in 2020-21, like the 9-game winning streak was in 2021. So, but it's been a while. That said, this version of Randall can give 2 thumbs down and then stick them where the sun don't shine, center courts, if he wants. All fans want is effort on both sides of the ball. Yeah, he can stick his thumbs wherever he wants. I agree with that. Thank you, Jonah. Josh B. These are the types of wins that will keep Randall and Tibbs around longer. Short-term win, long-term L. I don't know how to feel as a fan. Man, Josh, all due respect, if you don't know how to feel as a fan after tonight, I don't know what to tell you. It's just, this is why you're a fan. Like, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. In sports fandom, perfect is the enemy of the good. And I would urge you to go and listen to the podcast we did with JB a few weeks ago, where it's just like, sometimes it's just nice to sit back and like root for your team winning, as opposed to being like, man, now the coach is going to be around longer, and now this player is going to be around longer. Like, let's have a fun season, maybe. I hate being doom and gloom. It sucks. It's annoying. It's not fun. It's not why I got into this. It's not why people watch sports. So I would enjoy this one. Wombler, what's going on, Wombler? Giddy up! So we can play defense. Effort tonight was the best of the season. Julius was great, but no way it's just sustainable. I don't know what's less sustainable, the defensive effort or his offensive performance. In theory, this defensive effort is more than sustainable. The offense, I don't know, man. Like, he was only 3 of 10 from deep. That's the part that I always worry about, the sustainability of the shooting. Is like, that's why the Minnesota game was like not that exciting for me, because he came out and hit a bunch of threes. Okay, great. That's not sustainable. We know that's not sustainable. Tonight, he scored 34 points and he was 3 of 10 from deep, because he just used his physicality and his skill that we know he has. That's in there. That, I believe, is sustainable. Even though I'm a little skeptical that he can do that with a traditional center on the floor. I think he needs the room to work. Anyway, Obi relying too much on the 3 ? Would like to see him. Your comment got cut off. Will probably drive more. Is he relying on the 3 too much? Maybe a little bit. I mean, at the same time, dude's shooting 42.4% from 3 coming into this game. So he should fire away. you'd like to see them try to get him involved in other ways, though, for sure. I agree with that. Thank you for the comment and contribution. Yeah, Lee, what's going on? Yeah. The most aggravating thing about Randall is he only plays hard when his shot falls. And when his shot does not fall, he gives up on all sides of the ball. That is a fair comment. That is a very fair comment. I think through 3+ years of the Julius Randle experience, there is zero question that his offense impacts his defense. Now, what I will say, the defensive uptick that occurred for him in the end of this game, in the fourth quarter of this game, came after his offense kind of fell off a little bit in the first half, or in the beginning of the second half. So, like, let's wait and see. But that small silver lining, I think, is encouraging. Thank you for the comment. Harry, what's going on, Harry? Harry Donor. Knicks need to be on the phone right now trying to trade Randall. Okay, we know where Harry stands. And I hate that this is what I'm thinking after one of the best games in 2 years. No, I mean, look, that's real. That's okay. Like, look, you're always trying to make your team better. I hope they're on the phones every night after wins and losses. You always want to see what's out there. Always want to see making a move that's best for your team. But then again, is one game going to materially change his trade value around the league? I don't know. Dan Hidalgo, what's going on, Dan? When Julius poked the ball loose, dove for it, and passed for a Brunson dunk, the best moment of the season for me. Me too. Absolutely. Also, I didn't know Brunson could dunk. I don't know if Brunson knew he could dunk. When he dunked, I think that also gave a nice little jolt to his teammates. That was cool to see him dunk. I did not think he could dunk. That was like Steve Nash dunking. I'm trying to think of a really good point guard from years past who you're like, could that guy dunk? Nash is the one that comes to mind. Robert Cross with another one. It's your boy, John. What do you say about Jericho Sims? Oh, man, what isn't there to say about Jericho Sims? Dude needs to be in the rotation. I need Cutlets to consolidate the roster. Hashtag 53 wins. Robert Cross, I got news for you, buddy. If they consolidate the roster to get Jericho Sims playing time, guess who's getting traded? It ain't Isaiah Hartenstein. December 15th, buddy. We are 4 weeks away. Contract signed this summer can be traded. I don't know what Mitchell Robinson would get on the open market right now. I think he's looked at as a plus contract, net neutral at the very least. But I don't know who's dying to acquire Mitchell Robinson right now. It's tough. I love Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims is a freaking monster game. I should probably just read his stat line. Played 19 minutes, 6 boards, 4 points, 3 steals, 2 blocks, and all of them were impactful. All of them. Hush Sue, do you think the front office will move Rose to open up a spot for Grimes? I do not. Unless the season went completely south, I don't think that's happening. IQ Cam and Grimes on the floor might be a defensive masterclass. More good problems to have. Yeah, I don't see them moving Rose. I think that if you gave the front office truth serum right now and you asked them, do you think that you guys are going to make a consolidation trade between now and the deadline? I think the answer is yes. And again, don't kill the messenger. It's not my message. I'm just, it's Ian Begley's reporting from before the season started when he's like, they're probably not going to extend both OB and IQ. And then over the last week where he's like, they've been taking calls on IQ. And implying that they are engaging in those conversations in a video he posted. So that's just what's out there. So if you don't think they're going to trade Cam, and I do not think they're going to trade Cam, and you don't think they're going to trade Grimes, especially with his value, like they're obviously this is not the time to trade Grimes. I don't know what the move is, especially since RJ is not really tradable this year because of the contract situation. I don't know. I mean, guys get hurt. That's a way for Grimes in. I don't I don't see it being Rose. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But sitting here right now, if you ask me, do I think Derrick Rose is going to be traded or out of the rotation or anything? I do not think so. Good question. Kevin, what's going on, Kev? Julius motherfucking Randle, give me this every fucking night. Yeah. If only. If only. Joe Vogel, what's going on, Joe? That looked like the 2021 Randle type of effort. I'll put that defensive effort up against any game he had in his most improved player season. Any effort. With Reddish filling the Bullock role, ooh, there's your better version of Bullock. That's it. Why go fucking sign Evan Fournier? Cam is the evolutionary Reggie Bullock, not the level of shooter. Not the level of shooter, maybe. Although, I don't know. He's been hitting shots this year. Good call, Joe. I feel like they need to get back to that style. Plus, they have a legit point guard now. Yeah, I mean, that was such a unique style because Julius was taking so many long mid-rangers. Can you still kind of play that style of ball? Yeah, you can. I think you can. Interesting. Interesting thought. That's an interesting thought. And how did RJ play that year? Not initiating. Not a lot of initiation. Haitian Ferg, what's going on, Haitian? Great performance. Tibbs will right the ship. I love getting some Tibbs love in here. I love it. Warms my soul. I love you, Haitian. Short rotation paying off with good chemistry. Randall, Sims, Brunson are stars. We're the stars. Good small lineup to close the game. Yeah, I'm if I keep it traditional, I'm going to go 3-2-1. Randall's definitely getting one. Sims is definitely getting one. Brunson's final line. Oh my God! Again, he's just This is we have different ways to compliment Jalen Brunson every night. I was gonna look on the box score and I was expecting like, oh, what did Jalen Brunson finish with, like 14 points, on like a dozen shots? Nope, 21 points, 13 shots, 7 assists, 1 turnover, clockwork, 5 rebounds. He's 20-7 this year on good shooting, even with the bad 3-point percentage. Yeah, I think you got the stars right. I feel bad not giving Cam a star though. He had some not great defense. Same as the Utah game. There were a couple of moments where we're not great defensively, but like you could count them on one hand, 2 or 3 moments. His defensive impact continues to be so high level. And I know he didn't score, but quickly had a nice game. Really nice game too. Everybody had a nice game except RJ. Kevin Danishevsky with one more. I can't wait till IQ starts hitting shots. He's becoming a special defender. I agree. Bones is freaking impressive. RJ Randall shouldn't be on the same team. Yeah, what's funny about that is it's year 4. Year 4 of these guys together. And it's obvious. More minutes together than any Knick pairing in almost 20 years. To go back to find 2 Knicks that were on the same team that had ended up with a higher career minutes total together as Knicks, you have to go back before the freaking last time they won in Denver. That's how long ago it's been. These guys have played so many minutes together, and it has resulted in nothing in terms of chemistry. Anyway, sorry. Next comment. Mifflin's nice win tonight. Appalled at the amount of minutes RJ played given his performance. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Cam over RJ for winning games. What's there to be appalled about? What, like, again, I'm, the haters. Or let me rephrase that. The stands. I'm the hater. That's right. I forget. The stands will be all over me for this. But like, what has RJ done this year that is markedly better than Cam Reddish? The obvious answer is he's gotten to the rim a lot on drives. His decision-making on those drives has been poor to average. Had a nice free throw total game against Utah, but otherwise has not really gotten to the line. And the percentages at the rim, I don't have the most updated, but they're a little bit of an uptick, but not enough to justify how many more of those are assisted. Cam's drives, some not great drives, but some really great drives. So like that's the driving aspect. And you look at like every other aspect of the game, Like Cam is just better. He's worlds better defensively. He's been a better outside shooter. He hasn't passed a lot, but neither does RJ. So, yeah, that's where we're at through 15 games. Robert Cross, this is for GMAC. GMAC, we need you to pop in here.
Popping in here.
Do you, GMAC, ever feel the pressure of building the KFS empire? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen. What a question for 1:30 in the morning. Hashtag 53 wins.
What's the correct answer? What answer would you like me to say?
Me or Robert Cross?
Yes. No, you.
The answer is KFS is not an empire. We are an amalgamation of the fans that inspired us many years ago. And we just keep having fun.
That plus this is a really cool job, and it doesn't ever feel. Well, I
was about to say
it
sometimes it feels like a job. But
sometimes it does. A lot of spreadsheets I had to fill out the last 2 days for Blue Wire, but
thank you for that.
You're welcome. Don't worry, I got it covered. Don't worry. I'm just saying, like those are the moments where it's like, okay, I'm sitting for hours, but I'd rather this than a real job, which is cool. And as John said, you know, if it wasn't for all of you watching, then and supporting and all of the above, then it wouldn't happen. So I'm glad we could celebrate like this after one of the better wins in a long time, you know.
Man, a lot of mediocrity in the league, right? Hey, you want to hang around? Do we have a bunch of
hang around.
stuff?
We have a bunch left. But
okay,
I'll hang around. Yeah.
No, just real quick thought. So again, I said earlier, Knicks are 8-7.
They're gonna play the 6-9 Warriors on Friday.
Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on, I'll tell you what I'll do in a second. 10, 11. 19 teams out of in a 30-team league have won between 40% of their games and 60% of their games. So 40% is like 6-9. 60% is 9-6. So 2/3 of the league right now is everybody's kind of bunched together. It's a couple of really good teams, a handful of really good teams, handful of really bad teams.
Do you think that speaks to teams getting off the slow starts, or do you think that speaks to the parity in the league?
I think it speaks to parity. I think it speaks to everybody's trying right now. The perceived tankers, like they're all trying, with the possible exception of Houston, I guess.
Or OKC. Oh, you say are trying. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Houston's not trying right now.
No. Well, they're trying to lose. And the elite, there's like, I mean, Milwaukee was like at the top there for a while, and did they lose? No, I think they won tonight. But they had lost 3 in a row. Like, who's looked like world beaters? Like
the Celtics. That's really
Boston, and even their defense hasn't been there. But that's like kind of working yourself into shape. So yeah, there's just really maybe them and the Bucks are like the closest thing we have to elite teams. So not a lot of elite teams either. I think that's what it is. ARA Rawad, my reasoning to trading Mitchell Robinson is Sims' current performance. Similar player with a higher ceiling and a cheaper contract. So we should say Mitchell Robinson is signed to a 4-year, $60 million deal. Jericho Sims is signed to a 3-year, I don't even know, $6 million deal. Some obscenely low amount of money. Does Sims have a higher ceiling than Mitch? Mitch is a special defensive player. I think Sims is an adequate rim protector with a higher upside on the perimeter than Mitchell Robinson. I'll give him that. Offensively, Mitchell Robinson, I still believe he's the best offensive rebounder in the NBA. Sims, I think, could be a very good offensive rebounder. Maybe a better lob threat than Mitch. That's crazy to say. Maybe a better lob threat than Mitch.
Especially where you can throw the lob.
Yeah, bounce it off the rafters.
Yeah, and he'll get it, and he'll slam it home. Him and IQ have this fun synergy going on, A
lot of fun. 3 straight lobs in 3 straight games. I think the biggest thing for me, like Mitch, he's so loosey-goosey in so many areas that a center needs to be crisp in. And like the most glaring one is screen setting. Not saying Jericho Sims is the best screen setter in the world right now, but my God, once he really refines screen setting, I think he will. Good luck getting around that guy.
The defensive stop by Jericho Sims at the end of the game today
Play the game.
was I likened it to Kevin Love in Game 7 against Steph. Now, that play gets a little overrated because Steph could have gone around him if he wanted to, and he just was looking for the three. But still, it was a stop. Jericho Sims went out of his way, didn't bite on the pump fake, and in a 1-point game. So
incredible.
Was able to, and then you get quickly on the stop. There's some defensive players on this team right now, man.
From that perspective, it reminds me of the 2021 team because they didn't have any elite defenders on that team. Nerlens Noel had some elite defensive moments on a permanent basis, had some elite defensive numbers in terms of the counting stats, steals, blocks, whatever. But they didn't have an elite defensive player on that team. Reggie Bullock, I think, was probably the closest. But they were all solid with the exception of probably Elf. But even he was he's fine.
I have no idea how to evaluate Elfrid Payton. That year, I was wondering what anybody saw in him. All the smarter people than me was why is Elfrid Payton playing? And
because he's big,
stuck with it,
because he's big, because he's big dude. He's tall for a point guard, and that matters in a Tibbs scheme. Just to have a guy out there who, and listen, I killed him how many times, for just not dying on screens, but failing to get around screens, failing to get skinny on screens. He always stuck with the play, though, in his own way. He wasn't a great, I think what annoyed Knicks fans at the time, including me, was when people would tout him as this defense-first guard. He was not a defense-first guard. He wasn't anything first guard. He was just not a good player, which is why he's not in the league right now. But he wasn't a outright, bad guard defensively. He did what he needed to do in this system, which that's an important caveat. Dan Hidalgo, sometimes it feels like Tibbs gets a kick out of being a contrarian, you think? RJ clearly didn't have it, but subbing in Sims on the last possession saved the day. Yeah. It was good sub. Look, I think there was maybe if this game was last year, would he sub RJ in for the end of the game? I don't know.
There's I can't even wrap my brain around what he would have done last year compared to this year.
I don't know.
Because he didn't trust quickly the way he did. The way he didn't trust quickly last year, he trusts quickly this year, especially defensively. He trusts Obi, even if it's a hint more this year than he does last year. And look, there's some, you have some pushback, more pushback coming back to you on some of your RJ takes tonight.
Please.
Both from a hint from me and then more from the chat. But RJ's earned the demotion in minutes, the sitting the fourth quarter. This game was calling for less RJ Barrett from the first quarter on, and he was on track to play the most minutes. He played 31 minutes tonight and didn't play the final 9 of them.
Insanity.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's keep it going. Jason, what's going on, Jason? Hypothetical. For the rest of the season, Sims plays like he did tonight, improved rim protection, shoots a push shot every third game. Which Knicks big gets traded? I mean, we've been saying it since the summer. Mitchell Robinson's contract was a contract signed to be traded. I still believe that. I believe at some point that they will trade Mitchell Robinson. That said, wouldn't be shocked if they trade Hartenstein. Wouldn't be shocked. Be surprised. Wouldn't be shocked. Kevin Danishevsky, your nightly, thank God we have Jalen Brunson. Huge free throws late. A player. What a wonderful player. 20.
By the way, speaking of free throws, the game you were talking about against Chicago last year was when Randall had 30 points on 21 shots. He was the only person making shots in a game. The Knicks were down by 24 at halftime and came back and made it a game. And he missed some free throws late. And everybody got on him. He's not clutch. He doesn't hit free throws. And
what game was that?
This was early in the year. It was against Chicago.
Yeah, I remember it was Chicago. I was wondering.
It was at home. It was at home. It was a December game, maybe even a November game.
I think it was November.
Then very quickly after that was the Detroit game where Julius got benched for the final 15 minutes. And Detroit was playing this. This is when Omicron had started, right? So a lot of teams were playing like
I
with limited rosters, and
I remember that.
it was clear, okay, this is a different Julius Randle this year. This officially needs to get called out. So,
yeah, good stuff. Thank you for that. Next up, Dan Hidalgo. How many Jew games like this would it take to put up a Slam Magazine poster again? The Slam Magazine poster is still up. I'm looking at it right now. It's just on the other side of the room. And would you start slow by including the paper plate? Nah, the paper plate's in the garbage. There's another guy on that Slam Magazine poster too.
So just move the plate over.
I shouldn't laugh.
That's so mean, but still,
awful.
Like, he's next comment.
Ahmad Khalil, trade Julius, fire Tibbs.
He's laughing and crying at the same time. So I think this is said in jest, but
what's going on, Ahmad? Shout out to you.
It's an energy. So
it is an energy.
Yeah.
Happy to be on the Tibbs train. Joe Vogel, what's going on, Joe? It's starting to feel like RJ's destiny is salary filler for a star trade.
Jeez.
I mean, they told us that already. That's been reported. They
tried to trade him. Yeah, they tried to trade him for Donovan Mitchell.
The trade was done.
Right, but that's my point. Is like, it feels like an epiphany that some people had during the summer was what they actually think about RJ Barrett, and instead, it's taken some other people, which is like fine. Everybody has their own process. That like a little more time to realize, oh, so maybe this is what RJ's destined for. John, are you muted? Am I the one that's delayed? Here, I'm gonna reset my screen. Hold on. All right, so people are telling me, John, that your mic is off. No, people are telling me you're okay, so you can't hear me. So this is going to be fun, producing live on the air. Okay, so can you guys hear me? Or chat, tell me, can you hear me or Macri? You can hear me. Okay. I'm texting John that they can't hear him. Okay, you can hear me. Great. So I'm going to say log off. There we go. So John will be back in just a second. We will get to the multiple super chats. Thank you, everybody, for this. It's 1:40 in the morning on the East Coast. And John is back. John, give me a sound check. You can't hear me still. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Okay, so maybe I'll FaceTime John. Turn your computer off. Oh, unplug your mic. That's what we'll do. Switch your mic to the computer output.
Better?
Better. He's did it. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the mic just died.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Now we need a new mic. Your output is still your headphones?
No.
It's a computer. Can you hear me? So okay, it adjusted.
We'll go this route.
We'll go this route. Okay, I will move my mic away and we'll try to speed through these. What were you saying at the end of the last comment? That's when your mic died.
I forget. There's too many thoughts going through my brain.
So you really do want to fire Tibbs and
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
No, let me get to this comment because someone's asking what evidence do I have when I said RJ is going to improve. That and this person's just James is generally wondering, not hating. I think he works hard. I believe that he works hard. I believe that he cares. I believe that he wants to be great. I do think he has a pretty good basic skill set in terms of like his ability to get downhill and get shots at the rim is rare. There aren't a lot of guys that can do that. And if he plays on a good team where some of those shots are easier shots and the finishing numbers are what they were up until the last couple games, like if he gets a little bit better at free throw, getting to the line, if he gets a little bit better at passing, which we know he can, it's just it's a shift. It's a mental shift. If he keeps practicing the shot, I think there's a world where he gets better. I don't know how much better. That's all.
I don't disagree.
Anthony 6, though. Defensive effort is back, but something feels different overall. The help defense seems to have a shorter range. Did you notice anything schematically? I would have to go back and rewatch it, which I will at some point. I think they were overhelping a lot before, and I think they did not overhelp tonight as much, and as they didn't overhelp as much last night against the Jazz. It's just about urgency. That's why I think we've thrown around the word effort, but I think urgency is the better word, because even against Oklahoma City, well, that's a bad example. There was a lack of effort at times against Oklahoma City, but to me, year long, it's been a lack of urgency, which you can play with effort and not play with urgency. Maybe I'm putting too fine a point on it, but I don't know. That's where I'm at. James Lee with another one. And way back, you said Javon Carter is capable of that, of what RJ isn't. I was very disappointed when you said that, because his salary shouts that he's capable of everything Javon is and more. In terms of being a defensive stopper, certain guys just have a gift defensively. I don't know that. To me, RJ's best strength is the off-ball defense, and then that's why I was so floored when Tom read me the stat about how few deflections he's had this year. That's honestly, of all the different RJ stats and things from this year, the fact that he's last in the league amongst guys who have played that many minutes as him in deflections, that's so worrisome. Because off-ball, we've seen him be a really good off-ball defender, much like Quickly has been this year and last year.
Is your RJ take that he should come off the bench?
I think an objective observer who has watched his career would have a very sound argument that is his destiny, because it's just I was about to say it's just math. I look at this stuff like math, and the NBA math says you have two on-ball guys, two ball-dominant guys in your starting lineup. I, capital EYE, you always do that in our text.
Just to emphasize, I
do not believe that RJ Barrett is ever going to be good enough to be a top two guy in terms of that specific role on a team that is trying to win at the highest level. I've been consistent about that throughout his entire career. So then you get to the other guys. Center position aside, because sometimes you have centers who just are kind of fill a role, and then you could pivot from that with different lineup variations. Your other two guys are 3-and-D. That's the way the sport is played now. You have 3-and-D guys, and then the more stuff that those 3-and-D guys could do, the better off you are. The better off they are at attacking closeouts. The better passers they are. But those are advantage takers, not advantage creators. So if you ask me, is RJ ever going to be an elite advantage taker in terms of his shooting? The analogy kind of breaks down on the defensive end, but purely on the offensive end. I don't know about that. And I see him more as a guy who is never going to be elite on the ball, but he still can commandeer your offense and it be pretty good. But if he's not good enough to be at the top two, well, then all of a sudden that looks like a guy maybe who comes off the bench. And that is not to say that he cannot play significant minutes with starters. He can, and he will always. But the nice thing about RJ, and why ultimately I was in favor of the contract, and why I still feel it's going to be an okay contract, is because I believe he can vacillate between the role of a not elite but decent, good, whatever guy on the ball, and a pretty good to maybe very better than pretty good guy in terms of his gravity off the ball, and that is on both the offensive end and the defensive end. At the very least, he should not be a guy that is being taken advantage of on the defensive end of the floor. I'm not just talking about tonight. That's my analysis.
I think the important distinction, you're not saying, and I had a long conversation with a friend of mine at halftime who was very much, I mentioned him last night. He was very, okay, your mic is still on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so like I heard it, like so I guess it hasn't switched. Just don't touch anything until we're done. He was very much rejoicing the day of the Donovan Mitchell trade because he was like, you don't trade RJ to get Mitchell, you trade for Mitchell to play next to RJ, which is what we heard a lot of. And it wasn't like he's had the slow, like, I defended you and you do this to me. It's very much Denzel in Training Day. You think you could do this to me? You know.
But the part of that
go ahead.
No, finish.
Well, just like I said to him, he's the one that brought up sixth man. And I think the important distinction in what you're saying, what he's saying, and what I ultimately think, in a world where you can't move Julius Randle, where Julius Randle's not going anywhere, and you have Jalen Brunson, it might actually just make more sense if he's coming off the bench. It's not benching him. It's not Evan Fournier. It's he could get more touches. He can play with space because Obi Hartenstein, Quickly, and Derrick Rose are around him. There's a better place for him to succeed with him coming off the bench.
Well, look,
in that sense.
This is a bunch of wasted air because it's not going to happen. This organization does not have that level of, like, that's the type of thing the Spurs do.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to think of organizations that just are so rock solid in their culture. No player is bigger than the team. I mean, fuck, the Spurs had one of, I would argue, 75 greatest players of all time come off the bench for his entire career.
Yeah.
Organizations can do that. RJ Barrett after the game said he felt horrible. I'm sure he did. Asked if he considered sitting out. No, I want to play through everything. Yeah, thanks.
Wish he didn't.
Yeah.
Not like commending for like wanting to play through everything. I wish you didn't play tonight is the thing.
Yeah, the thing that always struck me as interesting, and I it's gonna sound like a gotcha thing, which is I don't intend it to be that, but like it felt like almost all of the folks who were like, don't do the Donovan Mitchell trade. You can't give up RJ Barrett in a Donovan Mitchell trade. That is a bad trade. You don't do that as an organization. Bad. In the same breath would say, well, because if you trade for Donovan Mitchell, you're not going to have enough to get the second star. Well, right. If you can't put RJ in the trade and you still are totally and completely concerned about the second star, well, then something's not adding up. Because the only guys you don't trade in trades like that are stars or guys you are convinced might someday be stars, you know? And I understand that is not perfect math. And there were reasons to not trade RJ Barrett in the Donovan Mitchell trade, even if you did not believe as an organization he was someday going to become a star player. But yeah, I don't know. It's wild how this has turned into a whole RJ thing. I feel responsible for that.
But that's where this was destined tonight. You're right. For 3.5 quarters of this game, I was like, this is going to be an RJ post game, and that's why I haven't said anything about Julius Randle tonight. Was it good to see him actually want it?
Like, so good. I mean, and people have like accused me of like you want him to do bad. I'm the happiest guy in the world. That's what that dude did tonight. I'm so happy.
Yeah, because it like he's had good offensive games, and then like it's been meh on the defensive end. We've said he's overall had a good offensive year this year. The long twos had mostly disappeared. And for like the first half, he was great. The third quarter, he was a little jump shot happy, and they fell down by a lot. And then in that fourth quarter, all of his shots were in the paint. We're at the rim. Like that's what you want to see. And then those steals leading to the lead. That was a guy that wanted this win, that took everybody out to dinner on Monday and was preaching accountability. That's what you want. This is the first time in a long time that I've been like, oh, the leader on the Knicks that like I was ready to get behind when they extended him 2 years ago. That's him. And I hope this wasn't the last time that we see said guy. You know,
to quote JB, this is why you watch sports, nights like tonight. Luffy, who would have thought the Knicks would go 2-0 in the league's hardest back-to-back? Not I. I picked 0-4 this week. Good job by me. I had the opportunity here. All I needed was a little bit of optimism.
I don't blame anybody for being pessimistic after we were in the building on Sunday, John.
Hold on.
Luffy had more to it. Go ahead.
Also, I hope Julius is okay. He said he felt a little sick. Yeah, we should say that. I can't believe
in the post game. Yeah. So there's a bug going around the Knicks right now, which you hope isn't a real thing. You know.
Him says the Rose criticism and treatment is unfair. Name one player that can be consistent in 12 minutes per game. He's too humble to complain, but he said it's weird. Rose deserves better. That's a very fair comment. And
Derrick Rose was really good tonight, by the way.
Derrick Rose was really good tonight. And by the way, I'll get it up. It should be updated by now, at least before this game. Yeah, and it probably didn't change. Derrick Rose had the best on-off on the team.
Yeah, it got better. He was +2 tonight, so.
Yeah,
and the Randall Obi minutes are now a positive, by the way. It's +1.5.
Oh, nice.
Or almost +2, I should say.
Yeah, it's not the biggest differential. I think in terms of like total impact, I think it's still. Actually, I'm not sure who it is, but I'll check that. But Rose, in terms of like Rose's on-court minutes, are the best net rating minutes for the team. Sam Garcia's dad, thank you for the contribution. It's great that Sam Garcia and Sam Garcia's dad are both watching the podcast.
Yeah, it's a family affair. Yeah, I like it.
Affair. Love it. Liam Berkowitz, bigger fish to fry, obviously, but would love to see them cut back on above the break threes. Very interesting comment. The Knicks built last year's team with the intention specifically of taking more above the break threes. It's why they got Evan Fournier, and it's why they signed Kemba Walker. This year, I don't think there's been it's tough to say that they've taken too many. Or let me rephrase that. It's easy to say they take too many because they miss all of them. At the same time, can you be a successful NBA offense without taking an open above the break three? I'm genuinely asking. I don't know the answer to that question.
I hope we don't. Well, do you think they should take less? Or do you think the 3-point shooting will regress to a higher percentage?
The guy who I don't love when he takes above the break threes is Julius, because I feel like the career numbers are what they are, and they're not great. Quickly, I believe in his above the break threes. Keep taking him. I just want to get his confidence back. Even RJ, for as much as we've killed him tonight, I believe in his ability to hit above the break threes. Although he's much better from the corners. He's shown the ability to be an elite 3-point corner shooter. Jalen Brunson, your point guard, has to take above the break threes. Has to. Cannot survive on an offense if your point guard is unwilling to take that shot if he's open. Otherwise, it's going to make life very difficult for you. So I don't know. I'm looking it up right now. In terms of frequency on above the break threes, the Knicks are, they're low. They're 23rd. So how much lower do you want them to get? I don't know. They're 6th in frequency of corner threes. That's fucking great.
You'd love it for them to make a few more of them, but I agree.
Listen, the corner threes are they'll go down at some point. In terms of overall 3-point shooting frequency, I don't know if Cleaning the Glass has it updated, but they are second from the bottom. Second from the bottom in non-corner. Corner threes are 24th. They're hitting 35% of their corner threes. That's not good, but you could live with it. I don't know if we're allowed to say what Fred Katz just texted us. Get the next comment up. Matt down in Australia. What's going on, Matt? Great win. Give me all the Obi minutes. Hashtag Obi top him. I like that.
That's from the pregame show. Thank you, Aussie Knicks fan, for that. Hayden was the one that said the Mikal Bridges comp earlier, and then may have triggered a rant from Jonathan Macri. So
Hayden
reply.
Yes, Macri, why do you hate RJ? Mikal Bridges was 23-9-9 tonight. Oh, I didn't know. I was saying Mikal needs to be RJ projection on a winning team and not the Jimmy Butler. Oh, okay.
That would have been my pushback, that we've finally gotten away from the Paul George, Jimmy Butler, 6-time All-Star projections for RJ. And I have no idea if Mikal Bridges is ever going to make an All-Star team. Not like he could be like the last man and a replacement.
He should.
But the third best guy that's mostly off ball on a good team, I could see RJ being that, which I think is what Hayden was trying to say.
Well, sorry, I misinterpreted your comment. One, I don't think RJ sees himself as that. Two, it's a really tough thing for me to envision a guy who, as of right now, hold on, I want to get it because it's. Oh wait, no, I think I made it go away. Mikal Bridges last year was the most efficient non-big in the NBA. The most efficient non-big in the NBA. This year, last I looked it up, he was really pretty high up there. RJ is one of the least efficient players in the NBA. Are you telling me that if RJ Barrett basically tried to mentally turn himself into Mikal Bridges, which again is something we have no evidence that he has any desire to do whatsoever, that's based on things that he says. He has used the word, I think I'm a star, I think I'm a special player, this and that and the other thing, that he could just become much more efficient. I don't know that that's reasonable, to say nothing about the defensive end.
I think you're getting hung up on the very specific Mikal Bridges comp, when all I think Hayden and some of us are saying is like, we're done with the 6-time All-Star.
Yeah, well, some people are not done with that. One, two, this gets back to the 6-man thing. Because if you're trying to build a championship team, right? If you're trying to build a championship team, you need elite guys as your Mikal Bridges types if they're in your starting lineup in terms of what that role requires, which is why I think the 6-man thing is not insane from a theoretical point of view. Eventually,
we'll see.
Jesus Christ, Mikal Bridges points per shot attempt this year. 127.3. 127.3.
Again, okay. Mikal Bridges plays with Devin Booker and Chris Paul and is told to go stand in the corner.
No, that's not Mikal.
Okay, you're getting hung up on the very specific Mikal Bridges comp. Fine, he's not Mikal Bridges. I'm saying you have said he could be the third best player on a good team, right? Yes, his efficiency has to improve. I think it's going. If he doesn't improve this year, it's one of the worst extensions the Knicks have ever handed out. But it's literally just he can be the third guy. Maybe so pick a different team and pick another third guy.
There needs to be. Listen, man, go around the league and talk about third guys around the league. Like, it's freaking talented right now. I do think that there is a reconciliation coming when it comes to his long-term role on this team or some other team. I'll say that. Luke Stone, the play of Reddish is making that trade look like a steal. The pick they gave up is likely going to turn into 2 seconds. Those protections go down. I know the Hornets are like stuck in no man's land, and maybe they never get out of the lottery. Maybe it turns into 2 seconds. Either way, I don't mind the Hornets pick. If anything, was there a guy that you could have drafted there before you traded that first round pick for the Hornets pick, which you then traded for Cam Reddish? Either way, I think, it's looking like a steal. Head to head.
If you got a starting 2-guard out of this, then you're fine.
Man, list of things I'm excited about for the rest of this year. Where does this Cam thing go? Head to head. What's going on head to head? Love the show. Thank you. We love doing it. I remember a rumor last year was to get Miles Turner. If we had him, I think the offense and defense takes a leap. Thoughts? I don't think it takes a leap. I think Miles Turner is your classic, great in theory, in actuality, guy. I thought his comments, I don't know if this has anything to do with the question. I thought his comments to Woj earlier this year were audacious and not in a good way. Basically pitching himself as a trade candidate to the Lakers. He hasn't played this year other than whatever handful of games because he's been hurt. Dude's always hurt. I'm good. I'm good with no Miles Turner. Thanks.
We got 4 other centers with Obi that I'd rather play and see what their ceilings are than Miles Turner. Like, appreciate the idea. I don't necessarily. Yeah, this is a last year idea though. Before I knew what Jericho Sims could be, what I knew what Isaiah Hartenstein could be, and what I want to see Obi Toppin potentially be.
Like if they were going to go that route, then you should have signed and traded Mitchell Robinson in the summer and gone and signed Mo Bamba for 2 years and $20 million just to see what an offense looks like with a rim protector, floor spacer. Sam Garcia's dad, what's going on? Why no Grimes? Is there something Tibbs doesn't like in practice? If not fully back from his injury, ? I can tell you it's not anything he doesn't like in practice. It is we need to start playing better. And we think that this is my theory. Take it for what it's worth. We think that shortening the rotation to 9 guys is more impactful, positively impactful than what Grimes would bring to us, given the realities of the roster. And I say that very specifically because even if there was a theoretical argument that Grimes should be, there's a better version of this team that includes Grimes instead of one of the current players in the rotation. And you can tell where I'm going with this. That is not a conversation that anybody is having within this franchise right now. And I think he thinks Rose is more helpful than Grimes at the moment. It's about it.
Probably says a lot more about what he says. What he thinks about Quickly as far as being a true backup point guard. Because if he trusted Quickly to be the backup point guard, Grimes would probably have taken Rose's minutes, but he would rather Rose be the person that spells Brunson for 14 to 15 to 16 minutes, whereas Quickly has more of a creator, ball handler that can play the 2 and the 1 on and off. He likes playing those 2 together more than anything else.
Yeah, and it's notable now the way things are going. I understand we all want to see Quickly, right? Or sorry, Grimes. But tonight, Quickly, 28 minutes. Toppin, 23 minutes. Reddish, 37 freaking minutes. Led the minutes. This is how you get these guys to produce. You play them these number of minutes. This is how they look good. Rose only played 17 minutes tonight. That's what he should be playing.
Yeah.
Good question, though. Homeboy Sudaka. JB loves Randall. This is Randall's and JB's team. Randall ain't going anywhere. Get used to it. Maybe.
If this version of Randall's here to stay, then I'm okay getting used to it.
Yeah, or let me if this version of Randall's is here, he's either staying or they'll flip him for a trade that is the sort of trade that they want to make.
Thanks, homeboy.
Jonathan Chavarez, what's going on? Great win. Sorry if you covered this already, but what do you think happens to Sims when Mitch is back? Goes back on the bench. Back on the bench. That is what I think. sucks
It does.
because he's an NBA rotation player. Absolutely an NBA rotation player. But, yeah. Kevin, with one more. In my opinion, I'd take only Miami, both Boston wins since 2020-21. So the season opener against Boston, the RJ shot against Boston, and the
comeback in Miami. Yeah. The comeback in Miami that quickly led to the Tibbs presser.
I think this is more meaningful than the Miami game because the season was over by the time of the Miami game.
Mm-hmm.
The second Boston game, I don't remember the Knicks playing well in that game.
They were down by 24 at one point. It's the biggest comeback in franchise history.
Yeah, they made a great comeback, but they played like shit in the beginning. The season was already kind of going sideways. Not that this one isn't, but like, and the RJ shot was cool. Bricked in, but we'll go there. Banked in, excuse me. Man. I don't know. See, that season opener in Boston, that was against Boston, that was pretty special. But those are the three candidates, I think.
Yeah. This one, you got to let games like this breathe to know what they actually mean, Yeah.
Because the meaning of this game will be determined in the weeks to come.
Yeah, if they just saved Tibbs' job and turned into a team because of this 9-man rotation that, could be a 6 seed in a mediocre league. Well, for what we think the East was going to be, like, who knows? But like, if they just figured something out, and you add in the fact that it was on the road and the second night of a back-to-back, and you got to see something from Randall.
That's the thing.
Do you remember what the score was when he went to that Obi Randall lineup?
Oh, I think they were down by 8 or 10.
They were down 10. It was 96-86. And then that lineup, led by Julius Randle, outscored the Nuggets 20-6 the rest of the game. 20-7 the rest of the game.
And by the way, Derrick Rose is no longer the leader in on-off.
Quickly or Cam?
Quickly. The god. The plus-minus god. Best on court. Plus 6.1. Next best is Obi Toppin in about 60 fewer minutes, plus 3.9. And then after that's Derrick Rose. And then in terms of off court, quickly, minus 7.1. They're getting outscored by 7.1 points per 100 possessions when Emmanuel Quickly sits in 400 minutes. They are giving, oh my God. Here's a stat for you. The Knicks are giving up with Emmanuel Quickly off the floor 119.5 points per 100 possessions. That would, without question, be the worst defensive rating in the league. That is in 400 minutes. With Emmanuel Quickly on the floor, they're giving up 101.8 points per 100 possessions. That would be, I believe, second or first in basketball.
It'd be first, ahead of the Celtics, who are 103.2.
Those are insane numbers. And I hope 29 teams are calling the Knicks about Emmanuel Quickly. Because if you're a team out there and you're not calling about Emmanuel Quickly, you're an idiot.
I hope 30 teams. I hope someone in the Knicks organization is calling the
calling within the.
Don't trade Emmanuel Quickly.
The call is coming from inside the house.
There you go.
Akiva F. Need RJ to lose weight. It's killing his defense. I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know.
I went to the gym for the first time in a while on Monday and don't feel confident at all telling a professional athlete to lose weight.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
But, RJ, be better. That's what I'll say. Be better at basketball. But some self-awareness there.
Get better. Get better. Don't be sick.
There you go. Get well soon.
Yeah. Get well soon. Yes, get well soon.
There you go.
That's it. That's where it's at. Hayden Freed, RJ in the Wiggins role. Love KFS 2 a.m. silly boy hours. We are past the 2 a.m. hour. This is going to be a fun newsletter to write. Man, when am I taking a nap tomorrow? That's the real conversation that needs to happen.
No game at the middle of the night and no post game.
No, that is true. I will get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow, parent-teacher conferences tomorrow. Good times.
Oh, John. Yikes.
Good times.
Okay.
And then we got a nice podcast coming up tomorrow night. Anyway, the Wiggins role. He's got to be better to play that role. But I agree that's probably the role.
That's what Hayden's trying to say is like that's the guy. You have two other guys that are the guy, and then you got RJ Barrett and everybody else.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Joseph J, where do you lean if we go on a crazy winning streak to the deadline?
Ooh.
Keep the band together and ride it out, or blow it up to consolidate because the players' values are high. I'm torn if we're winning. I don't. Thank you for the contribution, by the way, Joseph. It's a moot point because if they're winning, they're gonna certainly keep the team together. If anything, they're gonna make a trade to bring in talent. And I actually like this team would have to do so poorly, in my opinion, for them not to try to bring in talent. I could see a world where we're a week or 2 weeks or a month ahead of the trade deadline and they're 2-3 games under 500 and they try to bring in talent. I could see that for sure.
When's the deadline? It's like January something?
No, it's February.
So let's say February 2nd is the deadline.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more like February 10th, but yeah.
So you saying what do the Knicks do if they go on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 27-game winning streak?
I don't think that's what
I'm kidding. I'm just saying a winning streak into the deadline. That's if that happens, then this is one of the greatest head coaching turnarounds in NBA history. And Tom Thibodeau's name should be never slandered on this post-game show ever again.
I agree.
Yes. But only in that case. Hold on. Do we have one more super chat now?
Mifflin's. I wasn't clear. RJ played way too many minutes. Okay. I think we could all. I think if there's one thing that every human being watching that game tonight agreed upon, is that RJ Barrett played too many minutes. We may not all agree on anything else. RJ played too many minutes.
He played like a quarter and a half straight. Like came back in the second quarter, played the entire third quarter, and then the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Insanity.
Yeah, I was so confused. So, all right, let's wrap up.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We will be back on, we have, again, pod dropping on Friday, usual pod that, I guess we say it's John Schmiel coming on, talking some hoops, maybe a little Giants. And then we'll be live before and after the Warriors game. Boy, wouldn't that be nuts? They went out. Just go out and play a good game. I mean this when I say I don't care if they get the win. It'd be nice to get a win. If you go out there and play like you did tonight, let the chips fall where they may. Warriors got killed by Phoenix tonight.
Steph Curry had 50 points in a loss tonight.
Man, they're really struggling, huh?
Yeah, their bench unit. What's funny, their starting unit is still one of the best in the league, and then their bench unit is arguably the worst in the league. And I saw Simmons tweet tonight the punch of Jordan Poole, the Draymond Jordan Poole incident. I have no idea what that means. We'll discuss it more on Friday on the pregame show, but they've taken a step back, and I don't want to put it all on the fact that Gary Payton III or Payton Jr. the second isn't there. You know,
Clay's not hitting anything. He was 6 of 17 tonight. I know his numbers this year are not good. I mean,
the lineup data though suggests he's fine. Like he's not a negative. He's not. You're right. He's not Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
but the lineup data is very clear that we thought that the Knicks had an advantage in the bench minutes tonight because of what the Nuggets are when Jokic doesn't play. And then you see someone like there's no Bones Highland on the Warriors, no matter what Jordan Poole. But he hasn't been that this year is what I'm saying.
I think Poole's numbers are good. I just looked them up. I mean, he's not lighting it up from three, but he's hitting it up. I mean, he's bad tonight. He was 0-5, 0-3 from deep tonight. Scored 2 points in 27 minutes. That's obviously an issue. But Poole, DiVincenzo, Anthony Lamb? Yeah, Anthony Lamb.
They were also trying out the Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody experiment, and now Kuminga.
Yeah, Moody played 6 minutes tonight. You know?
And now Wiseman's in the G League.
JaMychal Green, these are not. That is not a great bench. Like the Knicks, at the very least on Friday, the Knicks should win the bench minutes. We'll see. Okay, this is great. Thanks everybody. Also, don't forget to check out the newsletter tomorrow that I'm going to start writing right now. And we'll see you later. Peace out.
Deuces.